Hello, my name is Rachel Larson, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Academic and Career Development at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln College of Business. Part of my role is to work with students and their career paths, and so I'm really excited to talk to Carly Gorder today about her internships. Hi, Carly.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Excellent. Very good. So tell us a little bit about you. Where are you from? What's your major?
Yeah, so I'm originally from Shakopee, Minnesota. So it's a town just a little bit south of Minneapolis. So it was really fun kind of growing up there and kind of warmer here, which is kind of fun, but also kind of spent a summer in Minneapolis this summer as well. So I am majoring in finance and management as a double major, and I've been really enjoying kind of being involved in that as well as a few other programs here in the College of Business.
Well, I know you've had a couple internships, so tell us a little bit about those internships and what you've done in those.
Yeah, so between my sophomore and junior year, I interned at Farm Credit Services of America in Omaha. So I was an internal audit intern there, which was a lot of fun, gaining experience working for a financial services company. And then between junior and senior year, I worked at Target headquarters in Minneapolis. So spent last summer back home, and it was a lot of fun. I did corporate finance, specifically capital markets finance. So I was able to learn a lot there from a big company, which was a really great experience.
Well, and I know that Target internship really kind of solidified your career path, but the first internship you had was really great, but maybe showed you that there was areas that you didn't really like. So tell us about that as well.
Yeah, definitely. So when I originally did internal audit, I was kind of thinking about the audit accounting route, and it was a lot of fun. I gained a lot of really great experience. I mean, internal audit is a really great way to get to know the organization and all the moving pieces in it. You get to talk to a lot of leaders and work on a lot of different projects that are really impactful to the business. But I think that I liked a little bit more of that collaborative teamwork kind of thing. And you can get that in internal audit, but I think that it kind of made me realize that I wanted to try something a little bit different. So I kind of pivoted and was like, let's try a finance internship, and ended up switching my major to finance from business administration, and went to Target, and I realized I just really loved the environment. It was a very fun environment, a very people environment. You got to do a lot of teamwork, different stuff like that. So I think it just made me realize, like, I love the number side, but I also like that collaborative piece, that strategy, decision-making side of it, and that's kind of what led me here. So.
And I hear that you've maybe accepted a job back at Target.
Yes, I did. So I'm really excited to be going back this summer.
Excellent. So how'd you find your internship?
Yeah, so what I did to find my internship is kind of a funny story. So 2 years ago, I went to a career fair and I talked to somebody at Target, and I wasn't really thinking about, what it could mean. I talked to them, I got their LinkedIns, and I think they gave me a bullseye stuffed animal, so it was really fun. But I didn't really think much about it until a few years later, and I was thinking about places I wanted to apply, and I think I just looked up Target's website and applied, and then I got an interview, and I wasn't really expecting that. I honestly was just gonna try and see what happened, but during the interview, the recruiter mentioned that they remembered I talked to them 2 years prior. So it really kind of showed the importance of making those connections early on, because those people will remember you and want to offer you stuff because you've been interested in a long time. And I think that's a really valuable thing to a company.
Well, and you mentioned the career fair. So as part of the business degree program, we have what's called the Professional Enhancement Program courses. So those are 4 required courses, otherwise known as PREP, that help prepare students for their career and professional development. So things like internship searches, how to find graduate school, how to interview, those types of things. So what has been some of the most valuable things that you've learned from the Professional Enhancement Program courses in order to help kind of secure or do well in your internships?
I think the most helpful part for me has been all of the help on perfecting my resume, perfecting my cover letter and my LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is something that's becoming increasingly more important to people, just seeing, do you have a nice looking LinkedIn? Do you have the posts on there? Are you someone who's really invested in that side and involved? And you can really tell that from that. So I really enjoyed the classes that we took that, not only gave us appointments with a career coach, which I found super helpful, but were able to tell us this is what to expect to put in a LinkedIn, this is what you should put in a resume. And I think those things have definitely been the reason that my resumes have made it to recruiters. I think it was a super valuable tool for us to use.
That's great. And what about your classes here in the College of Business with your majors or outside of your major? What have you learned from those, or what skills have you developed that's helped you in your internship path?
Yeah, I think honestly with the classes that I've taken, I'm in the Business Honors Academy, so we've had classes that were, our gen eds were kind of catered to us, and they had some, additional maybe chapters or other things that they included in there for us, and I think that really provided me with a great challenge and really challenged me to learn. So, when I got to an internship, I was like, I've sat in a hard class before, I can get through this internship. So I think just providing that challenging piece, but then also just providing great people to work with and learn from. I think, honestly, the way I've gotten through college is through study groups and using the resources around me, whether that's the professors or the classmates around me, or, I've actually gone down to the tutors we have as well in the TLC. So those have been just super helpful resources to kind of teach me that you can use other people, you can ask for help, and that's kind of key to success, really. So I think the classes and the challenge they provided me have really pushed me to reach out to those resources to succeed.
What's kind of one project that you're proudest of that you accomplished?
Yeah, there's actually two great answers I could have to this question. I think first, when I first sat down at both of my internships, I was a little overwhelmed with what was being asked of me. You don't have the most experience when you're sitting down for an internship the first time. And I was thinking, I don't know if I'm quite qualified, and all those thoughts you have in the first week, but then you kind of start pushing through, and towards the end you're like, wow, I can't believe I doubted myself in the beginning. So I think just pushing through and accomplishing something great at all is really helpful. But I think also Target, I was just super proud. We had a project that was really impactful for the business, and we had a lot of business partners wanting us to present our results and our work to them. And I think just as an intern, that's such a great experience to have people so interested in what we've been working on and something that really impacted the team. So I think that was what I was really proud of.
So what was that project?
Yeah, so that project was called a guest segmentation through capital investments project. So the team I was on was called store valuation, and kind of what we did was we looked at how our real estate investments, so any new store we build, any store that we remodel, how that impacts the guests that we have at our stores. So, building a new store, you have to make sure that it's gonna get enough business to be profitable, that sort of thing. And our project specifically was looking at how new stores and remodels look at or impact our certain guests. So I was on the remodel side, so I looked at, what type of remodels do we do that are the best, which ones make the largest impact, and how can we make sure to put that in our strategy going forward. So it was a really applicable thing to our team. It was a really applicable strategy, and so I think that was a really great experience to be able to do something that I was excited about and was able to learn a lot about. We got a very big data set that we had to sift through, so me and my partner had a lot of fun just working on it throughout the summer.
So what skills did you learn in your internship that you think will be very beneficial for you in your future career?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of answers to this question because I feel like you learn so much in an internship, but I think the thing that I was really taught is, in class you can get by. If you have a question, you can look at the textbook, you can maybe even Google it, you can kind of get away with figuring that out on your own, but when you're at a company, there's no Google to the company, there's no handbook, so you're gonna have to ask questions and reach out to people if you want to succeed. So I realized how important it was to be asking questions to people around me, really advocating for myself and my growth, because it really affects the quality of your work. So I think reaching out, being confident in the questions that I have, and being confident in the work that I do was really important, especially in internal audit. When we would finish an audit, we would meet with the leaders of that team, which usually ended up being vice presidents, kind of important people. And as an intern, I was a little nervous, but I learned be confident in the work that we did. I know what I did, and I am confident in that. And so just having to be confident in those conversations too.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Carly. We really appreciate you sharing your story. You're an absolutely fabulous student, and we're so excited to see where you're going to go after with Target.
Thank you.